Good morning. Good morning. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, May 29, 2021, Saturday, regarding series of this quality talk. I consider this a series, engineering series, common series, entitled today, Civil Field Engineering COVID-19 Impact on Engineering Designs, Construction, Methods, Contracts, Organizations, Communication, Coordination, Quality AnnexSL, and why we should be behind quality of concrete, quality of other materials. Probably talk number 371. Yesterday I talked about this talk looks common every day, but it's not very common because you can see these certificates and you can also see other certificate. There can be many certificates to everybody, and I always remind that certificates are not given only for decoration. These certificates have some meaning. These certificates are notified in public, which means people can know what the certified person can do for them. That is very basic of these certificates. Otherwise, what's the meaning of certificate? Certification means you have certain competency and you should prove that, and that proof is done while you perform in your profession or in your field. To what level you perform, that is your capacity. It depends on that. If you don't have capacity, then you cannot move forward. This is also true. Certificate is just an indication that this person can do from this level onwards. That's meaning of certificate. And I can say that is a quality standard of certificate. It doesn't mean more than that. If he cannot establish our knowledge, our attainment, our pragmatism based on additional experience, then we have no right to be called expert. Quality is not an expertise, but is a requirement. Quality is not an expertise, but it is a requirement, I can say. Requirement in a sense, without quality is like your, essence of life. Quality is like your, body lives because you are breathing. Body lives because everybody breathes. If I stop breathing, means I have no right to stay in this body. I have to leave this body sooner or later. That's what quality means, I think. Maybe you don't agree with me. I work, everybody works, maybe in engineering profession or otherwise. We work for whom? We work for people. We work for development. We work for raising standards of living. We work for something which is unknown. Though plan is known, but that plan shall be implemented successfully, that cannot be guaranteed. I don't want to explain at length, but basics is a must. What is prime importance in life? Prime importance in life lies in that you have to live, you have to, eat, you have to wear certain clothing, and you must have certain place to sleep. In Hindi, we call it roti, that is food, kapla, that is clothing, and shelter or a place to sleep, which we call house. Roti, kapda and makan means food, clothing and house. These are elementary, these are basics, you can say minimum requirement for human being. There are also certain basic requirements for non-human beings, whom we call animals. Animals don't have that much requirements. They just pleased, they are just pleased and contented if they get food or roti. See difference between two, human and animal. One third. Animal is happy, birds are happy, just getting 33% of what human desires, 66% more. And there is no limit. Food has certain limit. You can take only that your stomach accepts to digest. If you take more than that, you shall feel problems of indigestion, problems of weight, problems of many more diseases, because your machine has certain limit to work, and that machine is stomach and its digestion system. It doesn't happen that you get contentment or you get satisfaction in other two requirements, and that is clothing as well as house. You enlarge yourself in those two requirements, because you cannot enlarge yourself in first requirement, food. Yes, you can enlarge quality of food, but you cannot enlarge quantity of food. But as far as clothing and housing is concerned, even after getting your minimum requirement and repetitive requirement, I think 99% people cannot satisfy themselves. Means their standards, their requirements, their hunger for these items, their objectives go on augmenting to many scales, to multiple scales. Okay, no problem. One should now no limit in life, and as generally it is called, sky is limit. Yes, sky is limit. Okay, measure distance to sky. Can someone do that? Practically and by calculation, no one can do that. Imagination can be applied. We can imagine, of course, there is a way to imagine. We can imagine and we can say this could possibly be distance. But there is no guarantee in that value. There remains no guarantee, no quality consideration. I am just trying to wind up my talk of imagination to let you know deficiencies in human being. Quality, as I say, it's a requirement or it's not a requirement. That question arises, and it arises not because of me, it arises because of mandate of quality. Term we have given, world has given term to every work, every product, and that term is quality. Quantity, quantity means number of those items, or in whatever units we measure that item, we quantify that item. That number means quantity. That product unit of measurement is quantity. Quantity and quality must have conflict then, or they must move in unison, in alignment, in cohesion. It depends upon every society, it depends upon nation, it depends upon mental status, it depends upon how do we evaluate it. I understand every nation has different standards. That is result of difference of opinion. Otherwise, there should be only one standard, But no, everybody says my standard is better than your standard. I'm not going to enter into world of comparison of various standards. I'm just trying to talk on level playing field about quality and quantity. Quantity tells I have worked that much, this is my efficiency, but quality says do not cheat, I am not with you. I am distant from you, and that is a point of worry. And if quality says no, I am with you, I am moving with you, I am cooperating with you, then I think that's a good state. That's a pleasing state. You go buy whatever you want to buy from market. I'm talking particularly in our country, India, Bharat. Though it is applicable everywhere to some varying, you can say, varying percentages. But as far as basics is concerned, that must be involved with the quantity in terms of quality. If that is also not available, then what should I think of? If I don't find that part of requirement inbuilt with that product, so I can't define that product as quality product. This is not explanation, but this is deep question to consider by everybody, from educated person to person who has no understanding of quality, but that person also uses product. That person says, I bought this product, but it doesn't work to my expectations, or as is indicated, as is written on or claimed on this product. This means quality is not understood by those who are involved with product manufacturing. They understand quality in terms of sale. My product should be sold, it should be used by people for certain duration, and after then I'll handle with that. Because ultimate objective of manufacturer is how much profit I am making, how much profit I get. I don't think any manufacturer now is honest to that extent. Profit making is hunger. It is such level hunger, it never diminishes. It's never reduced. It always increases. And at what time a stage comes when people start comparing each other's status in terms of money, not in terms of quality. When we say quality is important, quantity is more important. People's thinking says that I have that much money, I am billionaire, I have so many trillion units of currencies. You will find such types of news every day. This man is number one in this scale. I did not find any news till now in terms of quality that this person has this quality. Not even a single person from around the world I found who has certain quality, or there is a claim of this quality. No claim exists anywhere in the world. You can consider from political circle, from engineering circle, from medical circle, or from every other circle. These claims do not exist. Finances claims exist, or you can say status claims exist. You can find them. This person is top 10 riches. What I do with that? My question to myself and to those people who publish such news, what I do with that if this person is top in finance, top in money? Okay, he is top in money. Why are you telling me this? Tell me what quality he has got for my better, making my life better, for making whole world's life better. I want to know that person. Is that person so sincere? He thinks for others, or he is so sincere he thinks only for money making? That's the point. If quality does not give me importance, it gives me importance in terms of money only, well, I don't consider there's character in that. Because money making is not objective of life. Itself this world is wrong, money making. Because we can't make money. Money means not currency. Currency is just transactional unit, transactional medium. Money means wealth, which nature has given us. We did not make any wealth on our own. If nature does not work with us, if nature does not support us, we cannot do anything. It applies to all, food or no food. If you have food, this means it's not your work alone, it is work, small part of your work and major part of natural resources, natural source, or you can say contribution by natural agencies. We have to analyze in that way only. If I want to take food, everybody takes food. I have to take food means what I have to do with that? You would say no, go to market, buy some flour or some rice or some wheat, some vegetable, come back, cook and drink, also eat it. Yes, that's right. That is procedure. But that grain which I buy, or flour or rice I buy, from where it comes? You may say it comes from field, it comes from agriculture field. All right. What is there in agriculture? People work there, land is there, soil is there, fertilizer is there, seeds are there, water is there, sun is there. This means I only contribute to work. That's it. Nothing that applies there which is produced by me. What contribution I have there? I have resources, God resources. Soil cannot be manufactured, water cannot be manufactured, you can say sunlight cannot be manufactured, rain cannot be manufactured. So what is there that I as human being contribute in form of sources? There is nothing as such. Only source is my work or farmer's work. That farmer also works because that farmer has good body, good energy. Otherwise, that farmer cannot work. If there were animals before, animals also resource from nature. What I mean to say, even for food, even to eat something, you are not independent. God is involved somewhere. Only for food it is. Forget other items. Water we drink, that is natural. We grow crops due to availability of many agencies. Otherwise, we cannot do that also. Just imagine if there is no crop, if there is no agriculture, what shall we eat? And if we don't have to eat anything, how shall we survive? This is very basic question. It has direct link to economy. Economy cannot be independent. We only claim economy is independent. But if we think qualitatively, to understand quantitatively, we would say economy cannot be defined in any way, because economy is also not basics. We may change value of our money, or you can say price of whatever we buy or we use, and we may say this price has gone up, or value of my property has gone up. We all say that. Or it has gone down. We all say that. Because we measure everything. We measure every work. We measure every item. We measure every structure in terms of money or cost. That is practice. But we don't measure quantity of work done with what quality. It cannot be changed. Quantity that you produced on whatever work, that remains there if it is imperishable. If it is perishable, that also goes away sometime. You can say imperishable work are quantified permanently and qualified also. If that work is quality based and quantity based, I would respect that production, at least to defined requirement. If my requirement is clear, if I say no, my requirement varies from time to time, so my product should. This means my product should update itself from time to time depending on requirement. And can that be done? That's point of view. Explanation has no limit. It can go for hours and for days, and even then people cannot understand. Because everybody wants to live free without thinking. Thinking only to some extent is acceptable by everybody. In some time you think, say 15-20 minutes in 24 hours. If I ask you keep on thinking, or even I keep on thinking, I don't find pleasure. Oh my God, you're thinking too much. People say, don't think too much, just do it. Don't think, just do it. Means follow my instruction. I say, don't worry about that. I'm responsible for that. Just do it. Oh, that's a good point. If I am given instruction, just do it. This means my work is reduced. I feel happy, but I forget. I am following instructions of someone for which I am paid. I limit myself to payment that I get, and that I have to respond to someone's instruction. I have to implement those. That is my status. This means my quality function is already finished. Okay, it's job, it's life. I'm not here to philosopher to speech or to speak that way. It's just, consideration of, what is required in life. I am a civil engineer. You may say, I am works engineer. You may say that my duty is to produce something for permanent use. But structure is not toy. Structure is not children game. It's not football and also not cricket ball. It's not one stone. It's not table tennis. It's not just do exercise. Structure has a great meaning. Particularly structure, when we say, it clearly means it's not one. Not at all. Every structure, every small structure has many components in that. Even small room has many components. You can consider smallest item in structural engineering. It has many components. And those components, in combination with each other, in coordination with each other, in working working state with each other, claim that this is my identity. My identity is that I am residential structure, I am commercial structure, I am dam structure, I am canal structure, I am manhole structure, I am tower structure. Likewise, you can say electric pole structure. There is no limit. Identity is different, name is different, use is different. This means structure is used everywhere. Every body is a structure. Our body is a structure. There are bones, there are other parts. How many parts are there? We don't know. There are. We have different types of structures. Animals have structures. So, structures are unlimited. This means every structure has many components, which means components must be well defined, must be well done, well qualified. Qualified, when I say qualified means what? I use this term now, qualified. And you say, okay, it's question of qualification. Which qualification? Qualification means what? Qualification is a certain concrete or certain defined or certain accepted limit in product or in human, both. When we study to certain limit. More than that, we have to study in whole life. Some limit is defined, which is named some title, which is named by some title. And we say this is qualification for you. This is your achievement, subject to improvement. Same applies to product. This product is qualified in this way. Qualification of product means with this limit we cannot go further. That is qualification. When we use tender, when we work in somewhere, we say what's qualification? We say this tender is qualified or non-qualified. If tender is qualified, bid is qualified, we say this is limit, this is condition, we are going to accept provided you give this statement. Engineer asks contractor, we will accept this provided you claim that this tender is unqualified. And if it's qualified, then you are out of competition, because we have to consider that point also. It may go opposite to you or it may go in favor to you. So qualification means a kind of concrete limit. Concrete doesn't mean concrete material. Concrete means with firm determination, with firm confirmation, we claim it that we will do this in this way. So we say we have to define quality in variation. No two products can be same, no two structures can be same. There is a relative agreement that from this point and or up to this point, if you perform, we say yes, you have done work according to quality, according to requirement. We say requirement or requirement. We require this. Means it's there, but we require to this limit. My requirement is this. And that I can say when I call it requirement, means a kind of again and again query, a kind of my question to you that you have to do this. Do it then. and that is called quality standard, quality limit. And if you perform to those limits become part of specifications on contracts, specifications of work. It can be designs, it can be work on site, it can be something else. I am talking of two because these are important. In designs also, certain FEED is available, FEED, and this defines what considerations you have to procure in while working design. You have to pour in this design, you have to use in design. So this is specifications, just like applies to construction. These are conditions, these are technical requirements that you have to fulfill, and if you fulfill them, it's called quality work, but subject to quality definition, not free of definition. It's very important point. Every day we have to define something, but problem comes when there are variations in specifications, and there are so many variations everywhere. There are many disciplines that we work in field, and those disciplines, because are there, contributions by those disciplines do exist, without which our structures are not served better. It may be electrical service, air conditioning service, mechanical service, or whatever else. That service is a part of structure, is part of building, is part of our you can say unit of work, which is that must serve that building. It's not for purpose of residence alone, but purpose of comfortable residence. Those services are made, are built within structure. First fix, second fix, or whatever it is. A structure contains those services, and those services, when contained in, must affect our structure directly as well as indirectly. That point must be considered, and we call construction based on reasonable coordinated quality designs. Design is done keeping abreast all points, keeping abreast all issues which this product, this proposal, this design may face while construction is done, or in future when it is used. For, you can say, combination of structural and its services, a coordination, or something you can say, everything should happen same time, simultaneously, successfully. There should be no overlap, excessive overlap, or gap, or clash, or you can say impact of each other onto each other. Should not happen. Work should be done smoothly. Compatibility of two or interfaces of various services should be positive, should work for good forever, and the structure should not be impacted by those services, and there should be no major maintenance problem in coming times. And that's where we say coordination is required. And if coordination is well done with basic thinking, with keeping in view smooth functioning of building or structure, we can say coordination has been successful. Coordination by that design engineer, brilliantly done. That engineer kept in mind what can be direct or indirect impacts on this structure. Such a brilliant engineer is required, who thinks ahead of time, who doesn't think only for formula, for software only, but also for thinkware, Think where is very important. Those who have power of thinking, I think they can lead this world. They can lead something. Thinking is owned by everybody. You are owner of thinking, but you don't feel that. Never, because you never think of that. Thinking of thinking. You think and decide, but you don't feel it. That is reason that don't you do. If you think and you think that I have right to think, and you keep on thinking, believe me, most problems in life shall go away. Because when you think, it's not you that you work, it is your soul that works. Not your brain. Brain is just an instrument. It's just a medium to work when you think. When you think, your brain excites. It gets up. It receives problem. It receives my problem and tries to solve it and transmit to me answer to check. And if there is something else in that answer you have to correct, it corrects it that way. Think-based work, thinking-based works are required in life. Problem lies when thinking is short, but implementation is more than thinking, and I can say that product can never be quality one. First work in thinking is just move on. Sometimes it's not easy to understand. It's not easy to understand because either of lack in knowledge or lack in moving or lack of concentration. Thinking is unit of concentration. Concentration does not mean yoga. No. It means work of mind. Concentration means if you think one item, keep on thinking that item for hours together. If you are really interested to solve that problem. And if you think many items simultaneously, I think you won't be able to solve them in time. One shall come to you, another also shall come to you, and both may fight together. So that you enter into panic state. And then there may be someone else to demand something else. And that stage is called mix-up of various problems. And mix-up is very difficult to solve. It can't be solved until it's independent to lead itself. And that's why we say independence is very important. Independence from whom? It's not independence from world. It's not independence from yourself. It is independence from problems. If I have one problem, I want to solve it. I have to think only for interdisciplinary issues with that problem, connected with that problem, linked with that problem. Not simply that I can solve this problem. Only those issues which are related to that problem must be considered, and irrelevant issues must be set aside that time when you start thinking. Because if you think, you will call encroachment on thinking. If I'm thinking for this problem, if another problem comes from some other world, and I think also on that, then for time being, my thinking is, you can say, attacked. It is encroached by someone else. So I have either to keep this off or keep that off. One I have to switch off, and I have to switch on one thinking, because that thinking has to go where I don't know, and that's why it calls unlimited movement. It goes on, and thinking for sure shall equip me with easy answer or difficult answer. I can't say, but functional answer. That's what I say. It's complete process of quality establishment. If you want to establish quality, product is automatically established. Quantity is automatically established. If we understand whole process, it may be manufacturing process, or before that may be design process, or construction process, or improvement process. Whatever process would come in future, if we have habit, if we have quality mind, or we determine that we won't lose our standards, well, I think we can keep on moving. It's only, you can say, understandable issue, because thinking means you are going to compound thinking, then further if you go mix up thinking of same thinking, and when you start getting certain parts of results, you feel happy at that time, but there's nothing to happy because you are thinking, and you get results gradually on that issue. And once you are getting results, questions and answers both come together. Then you may think on results, why I am getting this, and if you want different result, then you may have to amend some step in that. So you can say a kind of ticket is given to you, a kind of ticket, or you can say format is given to you. In that format, you have to fill in your mind what's your requirement, what's your procedure, and how you are going to get result of that question into answer. And such formation in mind, I think, I consider its name as contemplation, because single form application, single form, you can say, formation is known format or template, and there will be many templates which can be combined together or merged together, so that we can say this is contemplation. That stage is immersion stage, where you are immersing, you have immersed, and something would come out when you come out, when you immersed in solution, and you come out when solution is dried, it's seen, it's revealed, and that is called generation of application, and effect of that is engineering in every field. And you also establish their certain standard based on practice of that. This is my standard. If I do this is possible result, acceptable result, not possible only. And acceptable means a recognized one, conforming one. I accept this. To this scale of conformance may not be 100% or different grade, it could be. So can say this level work if I get, and this level of quality I get, this is conforming one, or if I don't get this is non-conforming one. So when we say this is quality non-conformance product, I say I don't accept this, or I accept this only substandard, and therefore in terms of achievement of standard is rejected, or it can be said substandard item which is not to mark. Engineer is supposed to deliver conformation items that conform to requirements. That is job of an engineer, minimum job. Non-conformance means that there is something wrong, there is some work which is defective somewhere, and that defect we do not know at time of manufacture or at time of construction, because we are unaware of that. This means we are going to construct or manufacture without complete study of that item. This means we have ignored something somewhere. We have, condoned something somewhere which was important to be included in our work. This means we are not consistent with our approach, and there's a factor in our mind which we missed, and therefore this work is not in line to requirement, and I call this inconsistent work. And also person who is doing with that, because that person worked on that person missed something important. So we can say this person to this extent, I'm not saying all, to this extent of ignorance, to this extent of incompetence, is known as redundant personnel for that. That personnel either has to improve immediately, amend errors, and be refined to relieve him of redundant status, but of use status or required status. So requirement of quality, you can say, has many definitions based on every world, engineering world or non-engineering world, based on subdisciplines. It varies in definition of quality. For some work, we can say it is quality, and for something else we say no, this is not acceptable because it doesn't fulfill objective we proposed to win. So what I say, change to requirements to achieve intended quality standards for universal recognition. When we say universal recognition, means everybody accepts this. It works. We apply quality after we decide quality for application, and whether or not whatever we apply or we do conforms to requirements or don't conform to requirements, that's also a question. Someone should make sure that what we did has been done, has been produced, has been affected, conducted to requirement level. That check we have to do. And if does not meet those requirements, goes down by many percentages, say quality requirement has failed. It's a big question mark. Quality requirement has failed means we had been sleeping on production to an extent. Inclusion of quality is related to, we just thought of product and quantity, and we ignored standards of working. This means quality is extremely important if it is defined or if it is recognized. If it is defined by various practices, by various multiplications, or by repetitive actions of that item itself in production, you can say every time improvement should be done. If there has been some difficulty to work, or there has been some difficulty to document our designs, continuous improvement is required, and that is done according to systems which we say that this is our quality system. And every application of work, when it is carried out or it is conducted to required definition, to required standards of quality, to be put into material, to be fixed into material, so that that material has quality and quantity both to function and to develop, which we can say engineering world, we can say this is engineering, to do something, to produce something to construct something based on given input, whatsoever input are, or recognized are, or codified as, if that product has been done according to that, we can say this is quality engineering of product, not otherwise. Quality engineering of product. Engineering itself very well defined, and it can be defined in many ways. Grossly, it is, you can say, it is what I should say, engineering means to do something based on technology, based on research, to do something for good, something forever. You can say application of knowledge, application of experience, learning more, use of learned lessons, and also using procedures defined or to be defined, and we get some product. It may be manufacturing or it may be construction. We get some product, and that product we say is engineering product. We have to understand that point. Engineering product, generally all product in market we buy are engineering product. We can't say otherwise. Every product is engineering product. I don't think some product available in market and doesn't come from engineering factory, except natural products, you can say, which are not product, which are debris, stones or something else lying here and there. Otherwise, whatever product you use in your home, from toilet soap to your best machine in your home, all pass through some kind of engineering. Even water you drink, that comes from wells, underground wells, or from river intakes, we call it headworks, and from there these are conveyed to water treatment units. So we can say this is complete engineering work. Treatment of water, whatever process is there, treatment of water is also, treated water is a product of engineering, while we took it from river through intake or through, you can say, headworks. We can say that time it was natural product because we did nothing to that. But once we divert that river through canal or through some other way to our treatment plant, in treatment plant, water treatment plant, engineering process is done so that properties of water from river status are converted to defined status or our required quality status. Same way, every other product is received, done. Where there is no engineering, we cannot say that is an engineering product, but once it is used to engineering world, it becomes a part of engineering itself. This is very, very common contemplation of quality. But quality is far from here. Quality actually is a big requirement. It means that work should be strong, work should be adequate, work should be powerful. Maybe we could not understand this long back, or maybe now we don't understand, because a word has come, it's called compromise. You can say, I call it abuse. Really, I call it abuse. Means this is compromise. I don't understand what's meaning of compromise here. Compromise, no problem. It means something to kill someone. I say compromise. I want to compromise means I have to kill my requirement. You may say compromise. It looks easy. You can't compromise. You're not practical. You can't compromise. My God, you have to establish a relation with this person. Compromise. My God, I feel very upset with that. I'm talking of engineering, I'm talking of quality, and these people say compromise. God, what is compromise? You may say, oh, this is also another agreement. Oh, yes, it's another agreement, I understand. Because there is mutual process of, you can say, promise. There's a refined promise to each other that we accept this dirt. Compromise. Promise. You can say compression of promises. Means we promised before that we promised each other at time of work that I pay you this much and give me this defined standard of material. Because you fail to deliver that in compliance to requirement, you missed requirement. I don't accept this material. But you say, no, due to some reason you have to accept that. This means I have to kill that process of promise, reciprocal promise, at time of agreement. And now I have to accept new promise. So I have to define substandard quality. I have to curtail my quality that was agreed that time, and I have to reduce value of that quality and create new quality. I call it substandard in relevance to original quality, or in valuing it in relevance to that measurement quality. I define new quality. So you say this is also quality. This is called low profile thought, low profile professionalism. Just because you have done mistake or somebody has done mistake, you want to continue that mistake, and you say, okay, we changed our requirement. That is what God is. Therefore, to understand engineering, we have to be open-minded. We don't have to confine ourselves to what has been established in past has to continue, or we have to amend or modify that to current requirement. Why, we do retrofitting? By chance, I'm just talking this because these days retrofitting is also very important one. Though it's not part of today's talk, but just for reference, I'm saying, what is retrofitting? State means whatever was, you can say, done at time of this building construction, how many years back can't be said, but to bring it back after 20-30 years to that status, we say we have to remove all hysteresis, all stresses, or you can say distresses from existing work, and by temporary means or by preparatory means or by whatever else, we bring back original standard or maximum standard back in line to original work. If we can bring it back, it's called retrofitting. This means we want to see this work in same state or nearly same state when it was initiated originally. So retrofitting can we do for our bad quality work? That's another point to be questioned. Quality has no limit. We know that. Quality can upgrade itself, and it does. And those who do not understand this point, I think they are not knowledgeable engineers, because change is change, modification is modification, but requirement is requirement. Within some tolerance, requirement has to be successful. There can be some mind changes somewhere. The practice is very, very important. So in engineering, we can say, when we talk of quality, it's also called practice. what practice we do, to what level practice we do. It's also called engineering, and that engineering can be defined, redefined, and redefined. To be very frank, activity based engineering, we say every activity is part of engineering, and combinations of all those activities to get destiny of that project, that's called target, or you can say that project which is finally delivered, that must contain all those definitions which were replanted or which reinserted into that product, and that may be called in revised definition quality one. Of course, in comparison to original one, not to that mark, but because we agreed on something, so we have to agree to whatever status of commerce of that manufacturing unit, but engineering still works there. And if engineering is not qualified, well, I don't think, what should I say, qualifying or qualifying are major requirements. When issue comes that we will examine you, or we will ask you to write something, and then we will see what you are. That is the important stage. I have to learn. In field I have to learn first, and make sure that whatever I learned, that's also given somewhere in writing, author's writing or some other writing. If author has written something, nobody can impersonate, nobody can, you can say, give fake information. So quality is very important. To this point of view, I can say no quality means no work. Maybe you get that, you don't get, I can't say. Till yesterday, you can say yesterday, I was interested to share with you information for quality requirements, or you can say checklist of quality, and we have till now gone through various inspection or checklist numbers, starting from setting out, and then going to passing through hand excavation, formation, blinding, concrete protection, waterproofing, preparatory works of footing, stub columns, backfill works, grade slab work, RCC column works, RCC wall works, RCC lift well wall works, then longitudinal stair works, and after that suspended slabs. We talked of staircase works, and we concluded that too. Staircase work is important in the sense that it's a vertical mobility item. It's item which can reach you from ground level to whatever stories you live in. It can reach you there. That is basics of staircase, and that it should be safe and comfortable. We shared with you what we should do in that, because this is structural item, framing item as well, you can say. That is staircase. It's also difficult item, I also can say that. From design, maybe design is not that difficult, but because it's routine, but particularly execution of this is not easy. You have to calculate so much, or now because of softwares, we can say solution has also been easy. We talked of this at length so that it should be clearly understood, and it was understood as well. Every work requires coordination, and coordination is a part of engineering, and in fact without coordination you cannot call that is engineering. For doing something, first of all we require where is this to be done, means what coordinates are there, or what vertical controls are there. You may say all horizontal controls and vertical controls must be known where they apply, and this coordination is not between two items, these are applicable in all items. And if we can say coordination we have understood, any work should be easy. But still our engineering scholars, engineering practitioners differ in that. Quality standards are for some time until this produce is written. Frankly speaking, my approach toward stair is little different. When there is a stair in some house, I consider that's a control point of height of floor, because vertical mobility should not result in accident first of all, and it should be safe, it should be comfortable, because horizontal mobility doesn't make a difference, but vertical mobility of course does, which means if there is a riser means it's vertical movement of step. If riser is normal per can say explanation, then we can find what height this building is, the floor is, because we measure to both legs. Dimensioning of stair is relation to axis of building and grids. All must be known and implemented on site in form of survey. It should be well designed first of all. It's not that at random design I can't accept that. It should be designed in such a way that if we have space, we should utilize the space properly so that stair performs well and user on that stair doesn't feel fatigue coming down every time 4 times 5 times a day. That's not proper. And there are structures such as beam of landing and structural framing beams and waste slab and you can say steps. We talked of that, what precautions we had to take in that. We did it successfully. We talked of and we referred to some sketch also for that, and that was done in that. Everything we understood clearly. Of course, we talking ourselves means self-knowledge it is, and explanation of self-knowledge is very important. So we did it. A sketch was shown. I had seen that it's bars shown in that cartoon or whatever. We have to take care of all activities, whatever are involved. If we don't take care of those activities, we can say somewhere we fail. Fail in sense we may conclude that And that concrete because layman concrete, not intellectual concrete. And okay, fine, there's no problem in this. That's my friends. I always stress on this issue because issue is very important. I have seen stairs with difficult waste in many buildings where there is shortage of space. Dangerous staircases are constructed there. Means you cannot use that stair, you know, freely. Freely in a sense, even if you are not thinking. In a state you are that you are just walking, you are just rising on that stair or ascending or descending from that staircase. But your mind is somewhere else. Your mind is not. You are not concentrating on steps to walk up or walk down, but your mind is somewhere else, and sometimes you fall, sometimes you stumble. That can happen because of no inclusion of requirements or no inclusion of basics of basics of the stair design. It happens sometimes that we don't concentrate and we fall or try to fall. But another point is, that is one point, that another is success of stair, ease of rising or ascending, ease of descending. And how many times you use that stair a day in your home. Suppose you are going to use that step or staircase 10 times, 5 times a day. Of course, we are human beings. We can have fatigue. That happens. So we have to keep those points into our consideration as part of design issue, as well as part of you can say design issue and construction issue. And if you can't do that, it means something is wrong somewhere, and we have to check that something is wrong somewhere. Why is that wrong? That point we must care. After that, we move to suspended slab works. Now, I am happy that this important item has come, and this important item is suspended slab works, which is ultimate destination of everybody. To be very frank, without slab, whatever you do looks like as it doesn't exist. Like piece of poles, like piece of electrical browser. When we start with the slab, I think it's a project. A slab itself is a project within project. It is a project, I should say. You cannot simply take it for granted. Oh, it's a slab, we will do it. Yes, you will do it because you know it. You experience it. But everybody does not have. Maybe you know much more better than we know, because you are expert of that. So, there are many items in this. We have to deal with formwork, we have to deal with steel reinforcement, we have to deal with supporting system, we have to deal with curing all time, we have to deal with steel and concrete requirements. We may say, start with, concrete is permanent material in that. Reinforcement is also permanent material in that. And importance lying in preparatory work and temporary work. If our temporary work of slab fail during concrete itself, during pouring concrete, well, I think all your work gone waste. All work that was done for supporting this slab preparatory works go into dark, and we feel upset. How it was that we have to take care of concrete, steel, and many other issues in relation to this oven that we go to. We have to see that slab under which we are going to sleep should be safe. We know what is a slab. There's nothing specific in that. We know what is that. Maybe I can say, if I have that one, isn't it? Slab, and I think that's also slab. Let me see some item here and see what is that. Okay, there's one part, and I get another one here. No, this is staircase. Here is staircase. Slab I was searching for. This is slab. Okay, I see this. We have got two sketches. We have here, I can say, now you have two sketches here. This is one and this other one. One is basement. I think this is for basement. One is for super framing. You can see there are columns, beams connected together, and this is non-uniform type slab. No problem, doesn't matter. There's another room here building, so let's see only this part. This hole, you can say, even this part also, this hole we can say here, this is going to be slab columns, all this solid black color indicates columns, different types and sizes of columns, different spans. These are all columns here, and these are beams connected to all columns. This one, all these. Same way here, and also even here and here too. It's same as I said, it's connected. This is sketch for reference only. It's not that we are going to do only this. There are so many, they say, so many parts of this slab. You may say this is one area, this is another area, and this is another area. Just for nomination purpose, just for names of parts of this slab, we can give whatever name. It's not big issue. We can give whatever name it is. The point is that we have to construct this slab or any or whatever type other one we have to construct. Of course, the slab must have these elements, beams, columns next actually in case of slab. If you see column total height which we cast, we keep beams below columns to some extent free. Point is that small columns are also there. This is column indication, but as far as slab is concerned, these columns were cast already. All these columns have been cast previously. We are not going to cast them. There is only a small portion on top of previous columns. That small portion may be equal to depth of beam, or you can say more than that. And slab that we cast, up to that slab or up to just near crab rings. We have to cast a small portion here on all these columns. So you can say neck columns, you may call them, or even you may call small column, whatever you can say, means you can call anything. Name is not important, element is important. You have to cast those small vertical pieces, you have to cast beams, we have to cast slab in simultaneous mode. That you not started casting was there, metal came and sight and started. We have to understand this point, how to move. Maybe this is not symmetrical slab, but this is slab. How to move this? We have to think about it. And that thinking is also very important. You think on this, you can say, I'll be back. You can think on this, give me 10 minutes. So that I'll be back here, come to you for this, I'll be back and come to you. Just give me 10 minutes, please. So, dear friends, I am back. Sorry for delay. Just like it's required for work, so I was there. Well, so we are talking of slab, which is very important part, without which cannot say building is done. It's very important part of building, without which you cannot say building is done. And I must be happy that we have reached to this point. We have reached to this point of slab that I call suspended slab. Suspended slab, but we have to first discuss why it is suspended slab. You know this is suspended slab, but people who are common, who are not professionals or engineers, they should also know why do we call it, why do we call it suspended slab? What is behind that suspended slab? And say there should be some criteria behind that. Who suspends it and how it is called suspended and not fixed. Well, it can't be explained down without a sketch. You know that is a slab which is these columns, you can see these columns, and you also can see these beams. Particularly these are prime beams here, and these are secondary beams, because this is generally one-way slab, and these are all beams here. The minimum requirements. Now, what it does, you can say very elementarily, I'm telling, means it's not that I can't say this. It's very elementary that this is one slab here. This is one bay, or you can say one bay of this slab. This is another slab bay. This is another bay. This is another bay. Of course it is, and like this. There are many slabs within slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or you may take 7 slabs here, 4 in this direction and 1 here. And maybe here some cantilever slab. How this load? It has load, means this slab has load. Some load is there, of course, concrete is there. And people have to use it, right? Engineers know it, I'm just explaining for information to others. There are 2 major loads and other loads which are instant loads. 2 major loads are, you can say, weight of material. Material is what? Concrete and steel material used for construction. And that's not only for slab, it's for everyone. Slab is generally called tukdi, tukdi we call in Hindi. We call this stone slab, it's a kind of tukdi or tukda, means piece. So in this slab, there is some thickness. RCC, when we say reinforced cement concrete, which is known material, very famous material all over world, it has combination of concrete material and steel material, and its per cubic meter content is generally said 2500 kilogram per cubic meter, generally around, means not accurately, but we assume that. This means, say this slab is, let us say 15 centimeter, and let us say this area is 100 square meter. Let's assume 100 square meter. Or this slab, you can say here itself is, if you see this is say 2.5 something, and this may be size 6 meter, for example. Yeah, that's 6 meter here. Just we can say 6 meter this way, and let us 2.5 meter this way, approximately. So 2.5 meter and 6 meter means 6, 12, 15 square meter. This is 15 square meter, you can say. 15 square meter. Then you can say it's a 15 centimeter, 0.15, and there is then another weight on that, maybe flooring weight or something, stone flooring or marble or some other flooring, let us say 5 centimeter is that. Approximately we sum up these two, but you can say total thickness is 20 centimeter average, means 1/5 of a meter. So if this is 15, you can say square meter, 15 square meter, and 1/5 of that, 15 square meter, and 1/5 of that is 3. Means 15 square meter into 0.23. This portion is having a quantity of 3 cubic meter concrete equivalent. 3 cubic meter means, let us say 2.5 tons per cubic meter. 3 and 2.5 means 7.5. This portion is having a weight of 7.5 tons. 7.5 ton is distributed in this area, which means these 4 columns are going to share that load of 3 whatever said, 15 into 0.2, that is 7.5 tons, and 7.5 whatever it is. All this would share, and there is a way that we calculate how much would come. There is a mechanism. We say at 45 angle this, and 45 angle this, and 45 angle this, and 45 angle this. Whatever geometry you form, just a kind of information that this triangle here will transfer load here, this triangle here will transfer load here, and this trapezium here will transfer load here, and this trapezium here would transfer load here. So these 4 beams will receive loads from their respective areas. These 4 beams. This is general. There are other considerations also. I'm not going to talk because that is explanatory. I'm just trying to tell means how you get load on these beams. Similarly, here we can say same geometry applies, and we can say whatever area is there, if area is more, load is more. If area is less, load is less. That is called dead load, which we considered. That is one load these would take, and this applies to all. And we take this one, it will take load from this also, load from this end also, double. Here also same. This means this building slab here is transferring load. Similarly, these columns get that load from beams. Whatever load comes on beam, that load goes to column. This is one way. There is another load from beam, and that is bending load, which we will take later on. Just now I'm explaining to you how this comes in. This is one part of load, as I told you, and we call in our engineering terminology that this is called dead load. Dead load means you cannot change this load, never, provided these coefficients are same, just like 2.5 tons per cubic meter. We cannot change that. Once this is done, this load is forever. It cannot be changed. After that, there is another load in addition to this, which keeps on changing. Maybe there's some furniture here, or some people are using this area, or some people are using this area and less people are using this area. Means there is no guarantee of that uniform application of load. In that load there was a guarantee, and there is a guarantee that no one can change that load all over this slab, right? And there's no guarantee that that load, which is temporary on this, in a way keeps on changing That load, suppose there's a table here, almirah here, it can be brought here. A sofa is here, can be brought there. Means that load which is not fixed on this or used on this in one location keeps on changing, that we call live load. Dead load or dead action, live load or live action. That live load also we account for in our designs, and that load depends on use of this slab. It may be used for bedroom, it may be used for study room, or it may be used just for sitting, and whatever it may be used for store, it may be used for some other purpose. Means whatever purpose it's meant for, we have to consider transmission of that load into same way as we said like this. It has to go to beams here. Same. We consider sometimes, let us take 250 kilogram or 300 kilogram per square meter live load, or depends, suppose it's it's assembly hall, we may take up to 300 or 400 or 500 kilogram per square meter, or it's just prayer room, we can take different. Means it depends upon use. So dead load is permanent, unchallengeable, and live load has certain variations within which it can be considered for specific purpose of application or use. So we have to differentiate this way: dead load or dead action, and live load or live actions. These are very normal. After that, we consider other loads. There are various types of loads, like you can say wind effect on building, seismic effect on building, and many effects on building, thermal effects. Those are very much technical. I'm not going to talk of that here. Engineers know that. Now, my purpose of this load telling is not because I want to do shuttering. I cannot do without that. It's only to explain to you why I'm calling this suspended slab. When load is here, you can say action is here. This is RCC slab. We call it flexible material. This slab portion is connected to beam portion, right? It is called monolithic connection, monolithic concrete, because we pour beams and slab together along with a small portion of these columns, which are called neck columns. So whole pour material that goes into this slab work, all over this, that is known as monolithic casting. MONOLITHIC, casting one time. This means properties of material in slab portion, properties of material in beam portion, and properties of materials in small height portion of columns are same. Cast one time, and it's called monolithic casting, monolithic concrete. Immediately we cast, we can't apply load. That's why formwork is there. Formwork we remove in 10 to 14 days period depending on span, and span is called this. This is span, for example, this is a span. This center of beam to this is called a span. Span means distance within under which it will work, or in some cases maybe this is a span, right? It depends which, this way or that way. Let's say this is a span. If longer span is there, longer duration is required to remove shutters, formwork. If shorter span is there, say 2 meters or 1 meter or 3 meters, shorter duration is required for removal of formwork. Now that is formwork. But why suspension is there? This is fixed to slab, these columns are fixed to beams, it is complete unit. or you can say all this slab here is complete unit to take loads. And when some load applies here, result plan load applies here, this slab shall try to go down because load applied on this will try to go down. Of course shall not go down, but it shall try to go down, just like we stand on some slab and you think that something has to go down. This going down is possible only when we say this slab is in suspension. If it is not suspended and we stand on that, it won't come down, it won't try to come down. But in engineering it's not possible. Concrete is a flexible material, steel is a flexible material. Both work together for flexibility. That flexibility is opposite to rigidity. If this is a rigid material, so we can't even think to that will come down or will be bending, that material is called rigid. But in buildings we use material which is soft one, soft. And when there is a flexibility factor, means this portion in middle shall try to come maximum and this portion shall try to come little, very minimum. And such forces which try to bring slab down here, or it may be some up here, it's part of bending activity, it's part of bending shape. This means this slab and beams are subject to bending. We have to realize that point. It may be beam, or it may be slab, it may be column, all are subject to bending. All are subject to bending. When this bend, little, it's not going to bend 1 meter down, maybe bending 3 millimeter, 4 millimeter, 5 millimeter, depending on span. And when that load is removed from slab, that bends, which is within limits, it's come back to same sequence. This bending down of slab is called suspension because it comes back. It's suspended and comes back, and we can say this slab is suspended on beams and beams are suspended on columns. Right? Slab, this portion of slab is suspended on beams and beams are suspended on columns. This means beams and slabs shall try to come down and then go up. To what extent that comes down, that's called deflection, and to what extent it recovers back. And if it recovers back fully, there's no deflection. And if respects leaving 1 mm, say 1 mm, 2 mm, that's called permanent deflection. This is meaning of suspension, that slab is suspended on beams and beams are suspended further on columns. This is what meaning of suspension is. Formula are there, we'll look into later on, but now it is being given in such a way that likes it. This was meaning of suspension. Now we'll go further to make a break on statement that's important here. It says, conduct in-depth coordination on drawings for relevant involved activities. This is very important part. Conduct in-depth coordination on drawings for relevant involved activities. What is coordination? It says in second one, ensure that all IFC or AFC, IFC means issued for construction and AFC means approved for construction. These are terminologies, abbreviations. Generally you will find these seals on drawing, and these seals are done by engineers who are responsible for these designs. IFC or AFC, this is a permission that this drawing can be used for construction. So that structural and coordinated services. This means ensure that all drawings are issued for construction and all these structural and coordinated services drawings are ready for construction references. Means whatever drawings we use for our work, they are first of all authentic drawings for construction, and other services drawings which are having coordination of structural and services uses or services working, they are ready for reference, construction reference in this case. So we can say coordination of services, whatever are coming in or going to be built in or installed in this slab. Number one service can be electrical service. First fix of electrical means shop drawing is to be referred, and in shop drawing whatever is given by electrical engineer, those conduits be laid accordingly, and that is service electrical first fix. This is a major one, in fact. And yes, you have to read services again. And this method again, so say whatever drawings we have should be coordinated drawings without leaving any doubt, without being given FC status. No work shall be done. We must have all drawings which are ready to be used in construction. Must be coordinated drawings. No works of services inserts, fix or first fix items shall be allowed without being given IFC status to all services drawings as well. Got my point? But say no works of services inserts. I call it inserts. Remember, embedment this is, because services shall go into concrete. We cannot view them after that. No works of services inserts, first fix items shall be allowed without being given IFC status to all services drawing. Means those shop drawings of services, whatever services, must be given IFC status issued for construction. Actual details. Actual details pertaining to following settings should be charted out clearly for communication to site. For an error or incorrect information may mar site work in suspended slab case. Actual details pertaining following settings should be charted out clearly for communication to site, because an error or incorrect information may mar site work or stop site work in suspended slab case. It is not dry slab, it's a wet slab. So actual details pertaining following settings should be charted out clearly for communication to site, for an error or incorrect information may stop or mar site work in suspended slab case. Setting of building control, main axis or axis and columns, beams and grids which have been located in next we go to actual details. Then actual details pertaining this item, this setting should be charted out clearly for communication to site, for errors won't work. These details which you have on drawings must be in possession of site people who are to work on these items. Setting of all building controls, setting of all building control main axis or axis and columns become beams grids located in both directions are accurate within defined tolerable limit. What we do, for example, this start. Now I'm talking of building axis, I'm talking of grids. Where is this? You can say, for example, I've written A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. These are called horizontal controls. That is two-dimensional horizontal controls in both axes. Here in axis X, A, B, C, D is there, and axis Y, 1, 2, 3, 4 are there. No problem. This means we know location of these grids. I am also stating building axis. I am not written in this, but this can be done. What is building axis? Building axis is that one which lies on center point of plan of a building block. This axis can be here, this axis can be here, or this axis can be, let us say, a C's axis. It depends. Generally, it should be equal in both areas, so it should be here somewhere, so that area this side are equal forever. So that axis generally I can take here and here, and from that axis only I have to ensure establishment of axis here, axis here, axis here, and also maybe this is axis, this is controls. It's very important point, just keep in mind that there are two axes, one is grid controls axis and one axis control axis, which is not shown here but it can be shown. Building axis is most important for us, because on through building axis we are going to control all grids. Setting of all building control main axis or axes and columns and beams grids located in both directions are accurate within defined tolerable limits. So setting of all building control main axis or axis and columns and beams grids located in both directions are accurate within defined tolerable limits. All supporting system scaffolding drawings are ready, duly approved or certified by designer of manufacturer, vendor or third party. This is important point. Why is talking about axis, columns and beam grids and supporting system scaffolding drawings are ready, duly approved or certified by designer of manufacturer, vendor or third party, howsoever you are doing that. Supporting system is always below slab to be poured. Supporting system. Supporting system is very important item. I have seen some sketch here. I am not sure. It was there, some sketch. Let me see where it is, if I can find that sketch for you. I will to find out. Supporting system. Train support, light for 10 days. Just a minute, please, if I can find outfall, cable trains. Okay, let us see, something is available, not all. Okay, we got something, it's better. You can see this is a sketch here. This is base plate and elevation slab support system, framing, typical proprietary of block system. You can see this here. What does it show? You can see that. View it for 5 minutes. We have to pour slab. We have written suspended slab. You can see we have written suspended slab on top, and we have to pour this slab. This is suspended slab. You can see this portion we have to pour. For which we are going to work. It looks small. This indicative only. You can see this, let us say only this small portion I am just trying to give. We have to pour this one. We have to pour this one. Okay, this one. Let's close this. It's okay, fine, I done this. So we have to pour this. Now what is this? I have shown to you. This is a section actually. Section this is, or we may say tail. You can see here, this is beam bottom. This is bottom of beam in concrete, and this is also bottom and beam in this. This is vertical side of concrete. This is vertical side of concrete. Same way, this is vertical side and this is vertical side. And this is projecting cantilever. And also let us say this is 8 meters. Just it can be 4 meters also. I have taken 8 meters, doesn't matter. It's only for understanding. And in this, if you see here, you just blow up. I'll go further just to let you know what is this. This is a plate here. You can see this is a plate here. This is a plate here. Same way, here's a plate and here is a plate. These are timber plates. Means there is a ply, then there are battens of timber, and there are vertical and horizontal battens. So this side is strong enough. You can say beam form typical type bolt here. It's written. This is beam batten. This is batten, timber batten, and this is plywood. Same way here. Bolt is here, this bolt is here, that is steel bolt. Now this is soffit of slab. This is soffit, S-O-F-F-I-T we call it. This is soffit of slab. We have to provide support to this soffit as well as to this soffit, beam soffit. Horizontal surface at bottom is known as soffit, which is shuttered, which is formed. This surface is not called soffit top surface. This is called unformed surface. Unformed, without form. This is not unformed, this is formed. This is formed, this is formed. These are formed, this is formed. This is not formed. This formed surface is here. We have to prepare formwork for bottom one, that's called soffit. Now we have a system here. You can see this system height is 8 meters, I'm telling you, and we have put 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 divisions. It's not uniform, but let us say half division is here, then 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 like that. Total is 8 meters, including slab thickness and beam. Now there is a system, we call it cup-lock system or scaffolding system, which is well designed, proprietary system. Means somebody gets design right of that, it's that person's designs or factory design, we call it. Name is cup-lock, it can be whatever name, I'm not going to name. Means that is a system we put in quickly here. This means vertical pipes, vertical pipes, vertical pipes, vertical pipes. These are horizontal pipes all. And this is not in one, means this is all over here, you can see. If it is for one, means this goes on moving like this, Generally, for major areas, its dimension in plan is, let us say, 1.2 meter is this, or 1 meter, if not 1.2 meter, let's say 1 meter. And this may be 2 meters, means there's no hard and fast rule for me, just for purpose of explanation. Let us say this is 1 meter and this is 2 meters, and this chain continues, this grid continues, you can say, Here is support with slab, support with slab, support. This top of this member. I mean to say this I am showing here is that here. This butts with slab form. This butts here, with slab form, with slab ply, you can say, or if there are battens here with battens, whatever. Generally, it's slab, and this forms grids, various grids here, like we say, a chain of grids. This is, and we have left some space here around 50 centimeter or something else. This is for beams, as I say here. This is that space, and we'll provide something else here. We'll see later on. Now, I tried to explain this system, and this is called supporting system, scaffolding system, structural scaffolding. It is structural scaffolding because whatever load during pouring of concrete and loads of people or workers and load of all this ply etc. material comes onto this and goes down to here at good hard surface, which transfers this further down. That is supporting system. It's for this portion of slab, but beams are also there. We have to keep in mind. So here, if not very wide beam, let us say 25 centimeter or 30 centimeter, we can provide same detail but with different arrangement, and this is called touching of the soffit control end. There's a long pipe here, same way, with clips here, stiffeners here, because height is 8 meters. If it is less, we can provide less. Means this is indication of a system, how system should remain stable. Means this is avoiding crippling here by stiffening here. This is called scaffolding system, and this is called prop. This is called stiffener, and we can say this is base plate here. In every pipe download, base plates are there. And slab supporting system framing, typical proprietary cup lock system. That's the name of this. You can say. I think you got my point. What I want to say. This system is very important, without which, if this system fails during pouring, there is less chances of this system to fail. If we had provided only this types of props here, means no connection to each other, just props, you may say there may be some risks, or there may be some wooden timber pieces like we do in our country, ballis we call them, bamboos we call them. They put certain ballis which are neither in vertical position nor in correctly inclined somewhere, something like that. They are susceptible to danger of collapse. But here, because it's well structured one, horizontally and vertically, and in depth also, I mean to say in third dimension, 3D it is. It provides distribution of loading safely, and we should not be very much worried about, you can say, strength element of this system, provided we have good ply and other provisions here. There's some problem in ply joints, then you can say there can be another reason for accident, but this is what I call structural scaffolding system. And if you go now to our text again, we are talking of the system. Now we have understood the system, what the system is. We can calculate forces from the system without any problem. It's not big deal. And it says all access temporary works. Provided routes to scaffolding details must be ready for safety requirements duly approved by tagging indicators. What is that? Now I go back to same. I'm sorry, not this one. Go back to same. Now we say, I told you the system. This is just drawing of system. But how to go to top of this working area? That is not shown here, but it is done. It is done, and it is done. I think there was some sketch of this also. Maybe I I did not bring that to you. C series substation, wall forms, forms, system tank, house concrete selection. I'm not ready with that detail. It's my mistake. Then this is column form, plant form, field, food form, MH, water reservoir, big building forms, pipe culvert, duct bank, cable trench, pipe trench, outfall, traffic diversion. Light poles, deep exhibition, trench, exhibition safety. Maybe I have to see something. Deep exhibition. Well, I like to find immediately, but I'm finding some problem here. Spot is specific from sectional thing. Well, let me go to safety and see how it works just in the case. Let me try in safety chapters which are not shown to yet. Oh no, I don't want to be like this. Just in the case. I'd like to find that. It's very important item for me. I may be lucky if I find it recently. It's there somewhere. Only point is to find that. Well, I think I got it. Okay. I'm lucky got it to see. You can view this sketch, very important one. This is from safety chapter, but it's not bad enough to find. You can see it's a building here. Scaffolding, working platform. It is. I am referring to this, to this. I'm not talking about this, don't worry about that. I'm talking about this outside building, and this is anchor to structure. This is structure here, and this anchor to that. Now, maybe you can say here, this is here, this is the tail, and this is its side. This is a building here. This is side of this, you may say. And this is anchoring to this building. That this axis road is anchored to building for safety. Now, this is all structural members, like cup-log, cup-log is all, as we discussed there in this case, these all similar type of, this is here, and we provide firm basis here, similar as I discussed before. We go up, right, then we go this way, and we go up, we go this way, and then we go up, like that. It's kind of durable, and you can say safe, stepped up, right, stepped up. and this is railing on here, so that when you stand here you should not fall. It's not shown everywhere, but it's typically shown here, and connections to this like that. This thickness is given here, whatever is that, you can say this is called access to that level, whatever level. If you want to go to this level, this is that. If you want that level, that is that. For every story, levels are there. And this is 1200 here for working area, means from this location of steps or stair. This is working area as building, all floors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever is this. This is called axis to, you can say, it is anchoring to the system. It says 12 meter I have shown here, 300 mm here, thickness is 100 mm, 12 meters height of this. What else you want? So what it says, all access temporary work. All access temporary work, provided routes to scaffolding details must be ready per safety requirements, duly approved by tagging indicators. Got it? Important point. All access temporary works which I showed to you, provided for this work, for this slab, routes, and there's routes actually, these are routes provided for access to scaffolding working area. These details must be ready for safety requirements, duly approved by tagging indicators. And tagging means safety competent person has to fix these tags, declaring that these steps or these stairs are safe for access and use. Then you can say all accessible stepping type ladders must be ready for use wherever required, duly approved by tagging indicators. Right? All access stepping type ladders must be ready for use wherever required, duly approved by tagging indicators. Means all access whatsoever is there which people have to use must be tagged in from safety viewpoint. From safety viewpoint. Whatever supporting materials for all involved areas in scope of pour for safe working in around pourable areas must be checked to be available. Whatever material we need for pouring, as we listed in, depending on requirement, it must be made sure that that material of whatever nature, consumable or non-consumable, temporary or preparatory or post-concrete use or pre-concrete use, all must be accounted for before going for concrete, and that must be available on site. Materials for all areas involved to be poured must be available for installing preparatory works. Ensure that all fabricated, cut and bent reinforcing bars are ready, available, duly tagged. Tag means not safety tag, technical tag. which material belongs to which member. Ensure all columns and RCC walls, if involved, before slab, below slab. Columns and RCC walls, if involved, have been poured, must have been poured before slab is done. Walls and columns must have been poured to certain level. Ensure construction joints are prepared on column, neck and wall tops, or wall neck you can say. It requires proper scabbling or hacking to expose aggregates by removing latins. Ensure construction joint. What is construction joint? You must know that. You know all that, I understand, but for explanation, for recording purpose, it's better. What is construction joint? Construction joint is, I can show you, I think, if I can show you by example, I don't know whether I have that one here. No. Okay, I'll explain without that, no problem. Now, for example, I casted one column up to beam bottom, but it could touch beam bottom or no, or it was left. That doesn't matter, that's a different issue. But whatever level I casted, that column, maybe many days back. Of course, we did level by we use tools of concrete, tools of masonry to make it clear. That's there, but I have to make it a joint for new concrete, because new concrete is going to be laid on this without concrete. Old means 15 days old or 20 days or whatever that. One is old concrete or hardened concrete, and one is new concrete, that is wet concrete. Both have to joint and work together. But already there is a rough surface, or sometimes even smooth, on top of previous casting. So we have to prepare that existing concrete casting into current construction joint concrete. How to do that? It's very important. It should be, first of all, curing must have been done, so no worry for curing. Then we have to chip out that square section or rectangular section or whatever section by chipping, chisel or hammer, or by, you can say, scabbler, hacker. We have to chip that portion. We must have got for that. So what I say, construction joint means your old concrete should be first cleaned, all dust should be removed, and then you should use scabbler. A scabbler is a machine which removes latins from that portion. Latins from that portion of joint. Latins means set, cement, sand, liquid on that. All must be cleaned and chipped out, so that all stone chips aggregates are exposed. All aggregates are exposed from that, and it's cleaned. Only then you can start shuttering above what is for remaining portion. So construction joint is very important one. It should be controlled by some trained one. So it is old concrete and new concrete joint. You have to prepare it. Then you may have to apply cement slurry later on before concreting, which we'll discuss later on separately. It's not concrete core item. We are discussing only preparatory works. And preparatory works are very, very important. Now, what I said, that ensure scabling, ensure construction joints are prepared to column and wall tops. It requires proper scabling or hacking to expose aggregates by removing lattice. Ensure that datum level lines are marked. Datum level lines are marked on column surfaces and also on RCC wall surfaces. What are these datum lines? You see, datum line means from that line we have to measure whatever more height we have to reach. More height we have to reach where we are going. So ensure datum line, when I say you have a column below, you have a wall below, you can put any line in reference to bottom level of slab which you have achieved. You must have a reference line on bottom slab from that, say 1 meter or 1.5 meter or 2 meter height, using your level instrument, or sometimes masons can take even by their water level. You can fix those lines on columns and walls for practical use. If suppose it is for at 1.5 meter height from level, agreed level, established level, from there you may further measure up to beams of it. Means how many centimeters or inches you have to go up exactly, and that is called datum level lines, for which are to be marked on columns as well as on RCC walls. It's not put on only on one column, it has to be put on all columns. So datum line is ready, you can use it without any problem. It is kind of control, manual control on site, and it's very important control, not only control, important control, that is there. And we go up to ensure erection of supporting either mechanical couple-lock type system or other propping system is well handled by specialist trained team of riggers. As we saw in that sketch, that is supporting a sketch mechanism which viewed there, and that is this one. This can be installed, erected only by those who are well trained, and we may name them riggers also. That is possibility that these people know what we do, how we do, they do fast. According to drawings, means whatever drawings we prepared for the scaffolding system in plan, they should install that system to meet those requirements. So erection, you can say ensure that erection or installation of involved system provides a good pressure spaces. This one. You can say ensure that erection or installation of involved system provides a good space to circulate within without causing any obstruction from construction as well as from complete safety viewpoint. It's very important. We have certain trained people for this work, and they are generally called riggers. It means, and we can use them for them to use this or apply this through riggers or through stonekeepers. It's very important point that erection must be done safely to provide space without causing any obstruction from construction as well as from complete safety viewpoint. Ensure fixing of all beams. Ensure fixing of all beams bottoms of downstands, beam bottoms of downstands are commenced with at right location all over areas, all over proposed areas for slab. Ensure fixing of all beam bottoms, or you can say soffit plates of downstands are commenced with at right locations all over areas. Which is an important activity and therefore must be ensured for its correctness by land surveyor or by an experienced foreman. Leveling of beam soffit is significant but should be within approximation at this stage, for it would be corrected by adjustments at final level check. These beam bottoms are fabricated in yard. These are not very heavy and they can be manually brought even from yard to site and can be put on that system of our highest prop with that, so then we can install on that system. It's practically done whatever way our carpenters feel convenient. Ensure that beam sides are able to be stripped out conveniently while beam soffit is in place, which soffit may be in place for defined duration of form work style. What does it mean? Against this, it's very important point. Ensure that beam sides are able to be stripped out conveniently. What does it mean? When beam soffit is in place, you see what happens here. Beam has three sides. We can show you here also. We saw you before. This is here beam and this has three sides. Now for purpose of, you can say, convenience, what we say, this is side and this is side vertical, both. This is horizontal. Horizontal supports whole beam and this plate or ply supports slab. Now what happens? This vertical portion which is below this slab, which is below this ply, this vertical portion above slab, above this plate, above here and up to this point, in between bottom of slab ply and this point, if we can remove this within 24 to 48 hours of pouring. that is permissible. We can remove that. But how to remove that is a point. If it is strapped up to this slab side, we have to take out this portion conveniently. If this portion of side is free from catch off slab ply, and there too we can remove them, leaving behind below this. But remember, if we remove them, we have to cure also. Though curing is required otherwise also, but in that case intensive curing is required for this. That's the important one. Now I just go down back and see what else I can. So we say, again I read, ensure that beam sides are able to be stripped out conveniently while beam soffit is in place, which soffit may be in place for defined duration of formwork strike. This requires that beam sides plates top lines should be erected up to points below slab soffit form levels. Ensure that beam sides are able to be stripped out conveniently while beam soffit is in place, which soffit may be in place for defined duration of formwork strike. This requires that beam sides plates top lines should be erected up to points below slab soffit form levels so that beam sides are not trapped in slab soffit. Ensure slab soffit levels are correct. Of course, ensure slab soffit levels are correct and system is installed accordingly to meet design and construction requirement. System scaffolding system here. Soffit levels are correct and system is installed accordingly. Okay, then ensure slab soffit levels are correct and system is installed according to meet design and construction requirement. Ensure safety railing equipped with all components is available, duly installed around working areas from smooth working and safety reasons. And we have discussed that. Means wherever it's required, where is railing required, we have to provide railing. Where is access road is required, we have to provide access railing like this. So it's different, but we can just assume it's right. And this railing I am talking is that this railing here, typical one. You can see this railing here. It should be here and everywhere. Required is a link. Also, because we are reading it now, let me see time now here is much. Okay. So, system is installed accordingly to meet design and construction requirement. So, ensure safety railing ensure safety railing equipped with all components is available, duly installed around working areas from smooth working and safety reasons. Ensure correct alignment is marked on slab exteriors for slab edges formwork. You know what I said. Yeah. You know this is slab here, this is edge for example, and here is this slab. You can say there will be some edges here, slab edges around all those beams, height was latches. Slab will terminate here, and we have to profile it for thickness, and that's what's here. Says ensure correct alignment is marked on slab exteriors for slab edges from work. Ensure location of construction joint. Ensure location of construction joint if so required for a major port. That's important. Say, I'm just giving you a reference, though it's not necessary, but for clarification it is a must. Let us see how. For example, say we have to do complete this one, but something happens and say we have to stop complete somewhere here due to whatever reason. You can say whatever reason is there. I just explaining to you. Means suppose we have to stop somewhere here due to machine failure or due to ready-mix problem or due to whatever else or due to indicated in design. So this means this point you have to stop in. So in that case, what you do, you must have, for example, some joint here and like that some joint here. It's a state also problem, but let us say it is better if you don't here, state here and like this and state here. This piece and this piece and this piece must be made ready just for installation on site. That's the main point. This may be 15 centimeter or 150 mm or 200 mm depending on thickness of slab, and this can be given two thicknesses also, because it can be like this. You can say like this. You understand what I'm saying is here is like this is half and half. This section can be right on this one, like this, or it can be vertical. It doesn't matter. Means it depends. So ensure location of construction joint is required for a major port. Ensure that grid locations from access lines are correctly transmitted on slab beam lines. Ensure that beam sides could be struck easily prior to slab soffit forms. We explained before. I'll explain in previous grade. Okay. Make sure correctness, respecting slab profile, by checking levels on slab. Means you have to form profile on slab up to which concrete shall be done, making sure correctness respecting slab profile by checking levels on slab. And make sure correctness of dimensions, fillet, correct dimensions of beam sections. You have to check sections, dimensions, widths, depths, all. Make sure, if so required, timber fillets or chamfers, plastic chamfers possibly, are fixed on beam corners for exposed faces. Fillet is a triangular section, bead type, made of plastic and should be available in market, which must be fixed on exposed corners of beams and columns. Exposed corners, beams and columns. We say dimensions of beams we have to make sure, and fillet we have to make sure. Plastic, made of plastic, which must be fixed on exposed corners of beams and columns if design mandates it. This is also applicable from convenience viewpoint. Make sure that form strike agent, or you can say shuttering removal agent, you may say, or form. Make sure that form strike agent, oil applied and dried out. Then you can say, again I read this, fillet is a triangular section, bead type, made of plastic and should be available in market, which must be fixed on exposed corners of beams and columns if design mandates it. Also applicable from convenience viewpoint. Make sure that form strike agent oil is also available on Alright, then make sure that form strike agent oil applied and dried out prior to commencing placing reinforcement bars. Says that ensure that reinforcing bars are centered and fixed to meet design's requirement. Ensure that reinforcing bars are centered and fixed to meet design's requirement. Ensure that reinforcing bars are centered and fixed to meet design's requirement. Beams reinforcing bars may be assembled on ground if possible, if so convenient. Otherwise, these bars could be on site location assembled per design as well as site requirement. Ensure that all bars are tightly bound. and concrete or plastic spaces fixed uniformly. Ensure that all services block outs are marked and fixed wherever shown on shop drawing. Ensure bottom reinforcement is placed as required. Bottom reinforcement means reinforcements towards soffit. Ensure that electrical first fix conduit work is done satisfactorily per shop drawings and inspected by competent electrical engineer. Ensure adequate overlaps are available for new continuing floor slab, if that being a requirement or a case, means if there is an extension of your work has to continue into other slab which you are not doing now, there should be enough overlap in your steel to receive continuation bars or other bars. All exposed bars not to be concreted must be protected from oxidation effect or oxidation effect using proper cover sheet. Right? Or say again, ensure adequate overlaps are available for next continuing floor slab, if that being a requirement or a case. All exposed bars are not to be concreted, must be protected from oxidation using proper cover sheet. Make sure that all overlaps or extending bars are well held by rings or struts. Make sure that all mechanical connectors if used in place of overlaps are well placed as in fastened, tightened well. Mechanical connectors assembly samples must be tested for tensile strength prior to use. Okay. Make sure that all mechanical connectors, if used in place of overlaps, are well placed and fastened, tightened well. Mechanical connectors assembly samples must be tested for tensile strength prior to use. This is an important point. Mechanical connectors assembly samples must be tested for tensile strength prior to use, and if these fail in tensile strength testing, you must recheck these connectors. Without test, you should not use these. This is important requirement. Maybe people are not clear about this. Tensile strength test must be conducted on samples of connector assembly, and ensure that adequate space is available after mechanical connectors or mechanical couplers also, you can say. I did not write that. Coupler also it's possible. I mean connector or coupler. After mechanical connectors or couplers are included for convenient passage of vibrator needle. What's the time? Let me see. It's already up. So okay, 1 or 2 minutes. Let me see. 40 points. I say ensure that adequate space is available after mechanical couplers or connectors are included for convenient passage of vibrator needle. In case epoxy coated bars are included permanently, ensure continuous application of activity of epoxy touch-up paint is conducted. Now, I think I hold here for next time. We have discussed something about, we have discussed about slab partly, and we have a brief discussion about various other activities. This is continuous talk, and we have discussed about certain sketches, seen certain scaffolding system, and also access, etc. Now I close certain sketches now, no need of them, and we can go through quality system. I talked the length, what is that quality system, etc., and how we should move on that. So we can say it's done in fact, and I can close this also. I can close this also better. So we'll talk next time if it's something to be done. So whatever we have done is, whatever we have to do is, it's okay, fine. We have to maintain quality, and it takes time to interpret this. No problem. It will take time to do it. No issue at all. Meanwhile, I just want to conclude it that it's not easy for us. We have to spend time. We have to spend time on quality and understand that. That's very important point. Thank you very much, gentlemen.